What's up guys, VitalSyntax here, and as you all know, the PlayStation 4 was unveiled yesterday, although I find it funny that they actually didn't show the console itself. We got to look at the controller and some upcoming games, and they talked quite a bit about the new operating system features and some of the other cool cloud features with PlayStation Network. Now, there's already been a lot of videos and tons of articles that go over the specifications of the new PlayStation 4, as well as all the new features that it's going to offer. So in this video, I don't really want to focus on that, but instead I want to focus on the PlayStation 4 versus a gaming PC, a gaming personal computer. And actually, PC Gamer did a really good article that basically compared the specifications for the PlayStation 4 versus a current generation like equivalent of a PC. And I'll put a link in the description of the video down below if you guys want to check out that full article, just if you're curious what the equivalent hardware is from a PC. So first, let's just go over the basic specifications for the PlayStation 4. It's going to be using an x86 64-bit architecture. It's an 8-core AMD CPU. I've heard it's running at 1.66 gigahertz, although I don't know if that's true. It's going to use a Radeon specialized GPU that's going to be similar in performance to the 7850, which is an AMD GPU. It's going to have a built-in hard drive. I don't think there's going to be an option for an SSD, maybe somewhere in the future, although the little slideshow that they had showed a little icon of a hard disk drive. So hopefully they'll have an options for SSD, because that would increase performance quite a bit with load times, boot times, and things like that. It is going to include a Blu-ray drive, USB 3, Bluetooth, optical audio, HDMI, analog audio, video, as well as Wi-Fi. So the key things here. Oh, and I also got to mention 8 gigabytes of unified DDR5 memory. What that means is typically with a computer or with a game console, you have system memory, which is usually DDR3 at this point, and then you have GPU memory, which is typically DDR5. Usually use DDR5 for GPU because it's a lot faster. I mean, the 680 right now, I think, what is it, like 3,000 megahertz effective speed, whereas a system memory you're going for like 1,600 megahertz. Effective speed. But what they're doing is instead of having a system memory and a GPU memory, they're having a unified memory. So there's going to be one huge massive pool of memory, and it's all going to be DDR5. That means it's going to run at a super fast speed. But the disadvantage of having a higher speed is you typically have higher cache latency, which usually kind of evens themselves out. But if you're doing an APU setup that has the graphics card integrated onto the CPU, for example, the Intel's option, or like the Intel HD 4000 series, or if you're doing the AMD side with an APU, then you typically want to have as fast memory as possible, because it's going to be using, once again, that shared memory. So it sounds like it's going to be an APU system. I'm not positive they are going to have separate dies, but from the articles and stuff I've read, it sounds like they're going to be a single die that's going to be an APU, which includes the CPU and the GPU, and that's why they're doing this unified 8 gigabytes of memory. All right, that was a mouthful. So, PC Gamer's article basically compared the PlayStation specifications to a $600 gaming PC. Now, my guess is that the launch price is going to be between $400 and $600 for the PS4. So, essentially, right now, you could go out and build an equivalent gaming PC for about $600. Now, there is the factor of, PlayStation is basically optimized much better than a gaming PC. You're not running an operating system that's very intensive. You're not running background applications. You're not running antivirus. You're not running Skype or Mumble or Chrome. You're running a game, and that's about it. Yeah, you might have some voice over IP options. You might be downloading a game in the background, but for consoles, typically the entire system is dedicated to running a game. So typically you can get more juice out of the same equivalent hardware that you might have on a PC side of things. And on top of that, you also have so many different PC specifications and configurations that the programmers often have to add this extra layer of abstraction, which allows them to configure their game to run on lots of different systems, whereas if you're programming for a console, you know exactly what the specifications of every PlayStation 4 is going to be, so you don't have to have that layer of abstraction. You can be a little bit more precise exactly how you're going to program and how you're going to optimize it to run on just one system instead of thousands of different configurations. Now, essentially, the PlayStation 4 is just a computer. I mean, especially now they're using the x86 architecture, which basically all computers use nowadays, instead of their cell architecture that they used with the PlayStation 3. Essentially, the PlayStation 4 is just a specialized, modified version of a gaming PC, and they're using specialized software to run games. And so some people, expect the PlayStation 4 to have the graphics capability of a high-end PC. Well, a high-end PC is about $3,000, maybe even more. And there's no way that Sony can give you a $3,000 piece of hardware and sell it to you for $500, because that's just not going to happen. So there's no way that the PlayStation 4 is going to be as powerful as PCs. In fact, it's probably not even as powerful as a medium-end PC. The 7850, which is going to be the equivalent GPU, or rumored equivalent GPU, is not a medium-end graphics card. I would consider a 660 Ti medium graphics card, maybe even a 570 a medium-end graphics card, or medium-end computer. And especially like the high-end things, when you throw in like a 680, a dual 680, or even the new Titan, I mean, it's going to blow the PlayStation 4 out of the water as far as capability. And the PlayStation 4 is coming out soon, like by the end of the year. And that means that it's already being destroyed by gaming PCs, where I think with the previous generation, when the consoles came out, they were about as good as a medium-end to high-end gaming PC for the equivalent price. But now, since technology has become so much cheaper, and since you don't have things like these specialized cell processors, they're all using kind of the same technology, the same architecture. In a couple of years, I mean, if they do the similar cycle they did with the PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, where it's like an 8-year cycle, where they don't update it for 8 years, if they do that with the PlayStation 4 and then the PlayStation 5, I mean, the gaming PCs are going to be so much farther ahead every year. And that's, I don't know, something that I've kind of come to terms with. I mean, I only got into PC gaming over the past 2 years, and before that, I didn't really care about specifications. I didn't really care about, high-end graphics. I didn't really care about high maneuverability and controllability with a mouse and keyboard. But now that I've gotten into gaming on a PC, and I have a high-end PC and a mouse and keyboard that gives me way better control than a joystick, I don't think I would ever go back to a console, which is weird, because I was going into the PlayStation 4 announcement thinking, you know what, I might actually buy one of these. It could be really, really cool. But hardware-wise, there's no reason I would ever buy one. Now, I will say there's some really cool software stuff. You have things like the Instant On feature, where it's basically putting into sleep mode. You can just press one button and it picks up exactly where you were. Or the downloading the background thing, I guess, is kind of cool. Or the share button, where you can kind of stream or share what you're looking at, or have somebody else control your screen. Or similar to what NVIDIA is doing with the NVIDIA Shield, you can stream your gaming PC your PlayStation 4 to your PS Vita, just like you can do it with AMD or NVIDIA's GPUs to your NVIDIA Shield. So essentially, you can use your PS4's graphics capability on a handheld device, which is cool. Now, they also said that the PlayStation 4 is going to support 4K video, but not games. So 4K is coming very soon, within the next couple of years. And yeah, you'll be able to play 4K videos on the PlayStation 4. It will support that output. But obviously, it's not going to be able to support that high resolution of gaming. I mean, it's barely going to support. Okay, let's think about it this way. If we ran Battlefield 3 on a 7850 at 1080p, I'm guessing you're going to get medium settings at 30 frames per second, maybe low settings at 50 or 60 frames per second. That's not something that I want to play on. And I know this is a kind of a PC elitist stance, but I think at least a year ago was like the perfect time to upgrade to switch from a console to PC, because the consoles were so outdated and the PCs were so far ahead. But now that the PS4 has been announced and the 720 or whatever the next Xbox is going to come out, I still think it's a really good time to switch over, just because these consoles are trying to catch up as far as processing power and graphics capability, but they're only catching up to like the mid-end, maybe even mid to low end gaming PCs that are out right now, and in 2 years they're going to be way higher. And if they do the same type of release cycle they did with the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 is going to be incredibly outdated in no time. So I will say, if you're somebody that doesn't want to spend, more than $500 or $600, then that's definitely the way to go. So anyway, I know this might not be the popular opinion, especially just because it's PlayStation 4 has just been announced, and there's a lot of people that are just drooling over it, or fanboys that are so excited about it. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say about the PlayStation 4. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.